The following review is going to be on Rodimus Prime Commander Class. Stay tuned. Rodimusbill here, and today we're going to do my namesake. It is Rodimus Prime, the Commander Class from the Transformers Kingdom Warfare Cybertron trilogy. First, we'll take a look at the box. There's Rodimus in his robot mode and his vehicle mode that wraps around the side. It is Commander Class. There's the Kingdom logo. It says Transformers. There's the Warfare Cybertron trilogy, the Kingdom poster. There's the top. There's the UPC on the bottom. And on the back, it is robot to car in 34 steps. It comes with accessories. And in 8 steps, you transform the whole vehicle to the battle station. Alright, let's crack this guy open and see what we've got. Alright, now that we've got everything out of the box, first we're going to take a look at the instructions booklet. And let's see, first in the instruction booklet, it tells you how to store the gun on just a car figure. Use the smoke exhausts and the sword. And then over here, it tells you how to put the car together and put the smokestacks on and 2 of the blast effects for like a exhaust feature. And then over here it tells you how to put the gun on top of the vehicle. This tells you the seating compartment, and then you got the transformation. And then you got down here how to transform it to the battle mode, battle station. You can keep the sword on the back. You can keep the gun on the back. The sword folds up. The sword's got a little peg. You can put the blast effects on the gun. And over here it's got the matrix in the chest. Tells you how to hold the matrix. You got the blast effect on the matrix. And there is Rodimus Prime with the matrix. Now, here is all he comes with. First, we'll take a look at these 2 blast effects. They're black exhaust effects. Now, they're hard plastic. They're not rubber. So, you break these, and they got the little holes on the side. Both the same. Now, on the back of the box, they are blue or clear, but you can tell they're black. Then you've got the sword of Primus, which has a 5mm peg that folds out and it folds in. And then it's got 2 notches on here to hold in the car mode. Then we've got Rodimus's long gun that folds in half. And it's pretty detailed. Here you go in the light. It's reminiscent of his G1 gun, which is very long. And it's got 2 5mm pegs, so you could have him hold it with both hands. And it folds up. Here is the Matrix blast effect. Again, hard plastic. You pull on this, it will break. And it's got the 2 notches below. That's how it fits on each side of the Matrix. And it'll also fit inside the seat compartment. And then you've got what I think is Omega Supreme's effects. But these are blue. So you've got this big base one. And then you've got a little smaller one. And then you've got another smaller one. And you got this big long one. And you have these 3 small pieces. This fits on the ends of the guns, like so. If you want to do a really, really big fire blast effect, like this, it's pretty heavy, but it'll work. And then you can put these on the back of the trailer there, like so. There you go. And these fit right here. So you'll just put those there. And the other one, they only go on one way. So you gotta line it up so it's angled like that. And Rodimus has black smoke spewing from his pipes, exhaust, so he needs a tune-up. And we'll get to that later. And I'm going to show you a way to fit all of these on here so you have nothing left over. And then we'll take a look at the double barrel weapon. Now, as you can see, it's got tank treads, which are pretty cool. It's got a pull-out 5mm port there. This is just like a stand, so we could stand up. You got another 5mm port there, and this bends down. This rotates up. These rotate out, and the handles rotate up. And this moves this 360 degrees, and you've got a ratchet up and down. And this figure can also be used, it's got a little tank tread, so it looks like it could be used as a moving platform. And that is the gun. And then you have the small car, which looks like Hot Rod. And we'll take a close look at this real quick before we put him with the big guy. You've got the yellow flame, you've got the orange and yellow, you get the red Autobot symbol, you've got the two lights right here, you got that nice clear plastic and blue. It's got the orange right there, the orange on the spoiler, and the spoiler's got some detail on it. This is kind of new to Hot Rod, this whole back piece right here. You got the exhaust pipes going down the side of the car, which is very reminiscent of Hot Rod. You got the black wheels there, the black wheels here. No chrome or anything, no hubcaps, which kind of suck. But you can always paint those on later. And you got to watch out for this piece, part of transformation, because it barely clears it. Let's see, there's the top of the car. You got another 5mm port there. And you've got two here. So the instructions say you can put these here, like that. And you've got two notches there, or tabs. And you could put this like that, with the sword facing the other way. If you want to do it this way, it does stick out a lot more on the back, like that. So tells you to put here. Now I'm going to show you a way where you could put the gun in the trailer. So basically you keep the sword on here and everything else is stored inside the trailer. So we're going to put this away to the side and just look at the trailer for right now. And it is reminiscent of G1 trailer. You got the smokestacks here. This little gap doesn't bother me. I know a lot of the reviewers says, it's hit and miss, but you can't do nothing with it. You got the orange down here, you got red, and you got the 5mm ports. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. You got the two sets of wheels. On the back, you can see some detailing on the red, and here again you have the 5mm ports, so you can do that. And what's pretty neat is you can lift this up, and it's got little hydraulics. That's pretty cool. You know, they didn't have to do that, but they did, and it's pretty neat. And over here is a connector to like Skylinks or Sound Barrier, or Earthrise Scorponok, or Fortress or Omega Supreme. They will fit in there. And of course, in the back, here we'll use Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Well, his spoiler. But you could take cup, you ride a cup up there, there you go, and it fits a deluxe pretty good without the gun. So you could fit many deluxes up there. Like I said, Hot Rod had the spoiler, which was a little too big, but still. And then you could see it's got all the, it looks like grating right there, and it's a little ramp. So you close this back up. Go along the top, you have another 5mm port. You got the yellow stripe, the orange stripe, and the red. You got two more 5mm ports there. Now the front is pretty new too. You take this and you can lift this up, and you've got little storage here, and a little detail inside. Up here, you got you have this little tab here. It's spring loaded. That's how you connect the car to it, and these are spring loaded, so they just move up and down. No big deal. And there's the bottom, and right here is your secret compartment where you can just fold this out. And while we're looking at this, it's got two 5mm ports there, and these two slots. So what you want to do is you can take the matrix and put the matrix here. And notice it's got these little cutouts. So you put that here, And these, they snap in one way. So once you get the right way, that one snapped in. Let's see, we'll snap this one in. Like, oh, other way. Like I said, once you get them in, they stay in pretty tight. And if you want, you can take the sword, pull out the peg, put the sword in here. Oh, it doesn't fit that way. And it'll fit that way. And then you could just stick that in there. And you could also want, if you want, you could throw some of these in here too. See how they don't go there, they don't stick out, so you could hide them in there. And let's see, we'll put this here. Actually, we'll take this stuff out. Let's put this back. And they just slide in. Oops. What did I do? I knocked that loose? Yeah, that no big deal. And what you want to do is you can open the sides up like that. Okay. This is hard, this one. You got to really use force. I think it's going to break. You can have it like this with the ramp that way. Or, I don't like this at all. Lift this up. You can lift this down first. Like that. And then you can pull that down. And then the front opens up like that. And of course you got more 5mm slots there. And you got all these 5mm ports all in here. And there's some detailing too. They made sure everything had their own little detail. And when you get the big gun, you pull out this 5mm port like that. And what you want to do is put it in the middle here. Like that. If you want, you could put this down. It doesn't really matter. And then when this closes up, you've got a notch right there. There it is. So rest that notch in there. There. And you can close it up like that. But to use the battle station, you just want to lift this up. Fold these out. And pull the handlebars up. And then you have your battle station. Now, this can ratchet up and down. This can move. And even this can move. And it goes up and down. And it's all blast compatible. So we'll put some big ones here. We'll put some here. There you go. And later on we have this by transformed. We can set him right here. And you can have Rodimus as a battle station. And that's pretty cool. Very reminiscent of G1 when we have the G1 battle one later. Well, actually, you know what? Since we're going to bring out the G1 now. This is the G1. So, let's do this instead. Because once I transform him, you won't be able to get to see it. So, we're going to put all this back together again. And I'm going to show you the G1 battle station. Yeah, this scares me. I do not like how that... Alright, so this is the G1, and this is the new one. So, similarities. The chrome and the silver, I actually like the chrome better. You got the yellow and the orange flame, so you get the yellow and orange flame. They look pretty much close together. You got the orange and yellow here, and the orange and yellow here. You got the orange part here, the orange part here, the two sets of wheels, two sets of wheels. On the back, this was just flat, you didn't have anything there. Over here, same thing, but notice on here though, the spoiler, these hid the spoiler. This one just got that gap right there. And then the front, it looks like this could have opened up, but it doesn't. And then you got the front there. And even when you do the top, looks like they switched the yellow and the orange. Don't know why. The Autobot symbol's facing back. This is facing that way. No big deal. There's what they look like from there. And this one, you open up like that, just like you open up this one. Okay, we're just gonna stick this here. So now, let's see, this is the front, this is the front. So, and then this one you just lift up. You extended that, which was pretty cool. And the two blast effects you actually had to put in yourself. So this is what I grew up on. It was my favorite figure when I was a kid. And it rolled pretty good. This just moved up and down. And this moved around. Now you look at the new one. We'll do the same thing here. These are attached handlebars. And that is the new one. So let's see, we'll turn this around. Well, let's see, that's actually facing front. This is facing the rear. So they're kind of backwards, but up, there you go. All right, so they're not backwards. So now they're both facing front, and the guns are facing rear. They're both battle platforms. Pretty neat. And this one, you could push this down. I think I'm going to break this. It scares me. This has got a lot more, but you could see how they kept the G1 aesthetic. Almost just perfect. I do like how the silver bleeds into the gray, or the black bleeds into the gray. But, I mean, they kept the side panels. This one does extend up and down. This one doesn't. But you could see, for all intents and purposes, they gave you a 21st century of the original Rodimus Prime toy. And I like it. Like I said, Rodimusbill and Rodimus Prime is my favorite figure. So we'll just snap that in. And this snaps together. And that is the two battle stations compared. Which we'll get more into the actual figure later. And if you want, you could put your guns here. Like that. Your gun fits in these two like that. But you fold them up, you're not going to be, you can't have this. But you can put Battle Masters here. And these are all compatible like that. And it's pretty cool. Now let's fold this guy up. Fold this here. We'll put this guy back here. Like that. Pull this up. God, I hate this right here. I think I'm going to break it one day. Alright, so that is your battle station all closed up. Now, I'm going to show you how to store all these. Here, we're going to bring in all our blast effects. We're going to take this. Oh, see, I'm afraid this matrix is going to break in here. Okay, so we're going to do what I showed you before. We're going to push this in. I'm going to snap that down. I got a 50-50 shot of getting it right, and I'm wrong. And then the other one, again, 50-50 chance of getting it right, and I get them both wrong. So, and you could put these in here if you want, but I'm not going to yet. We're going to slide this in right here. It's those two little holes. And you slide the tray in. I'm going to open this up here. And we're going to put all these little pieces in here. 1, 2, 3. We got this one. We've got this one. And we close, whoops. And we'll close that up. And now we go to the back. We fold the gun up. Now let's see if I can do this on one shot. Pull this up. Pull this down. The gun, you can slide the gun there. Alright. Now these pieces, you can fit one there. You can fit one there. Let's see. I can fold that in. We'll put this on the side. There you go. Put this one here. That closes up. And the sword you can put on here, or you can put, like I said, in that tray. And now you have everything stored in the trailer or on the car figure. So if you want to store them in, you could store this with all your blast effects. You won't lose anything. And the matrix in the chest, which we'll look at later. And now, what you want to do to put these together, you have that spring tab right there. So you just want to line this up like that. And you want to push it back where this is pushed back all the way. And now it's tabbed in. And now you have the Rodimus Prime vehicle. And I like it. Is it perfect? No. Does it have some things that bug me? Yes, it does. And it's right here. You see the extra wheels on Hot Rod. If there was a way to push this back, you could have pushed this back. And so this section you wouldn't see, and you'd have that underneath here. That would have been perfect. That way this wheel hides behind this wheel. But I guess that drawer. But this wheel would hide behind this wheel, and this wouldn't look so weird. And that would be a 10 out of 10. But right now he's a 9.5 out of 10 because I love Rodimus Prime so much. And let's look at it. So you got the, again, you got the yellow and the orange and the Autobot symbol. I love the blue clear. You got the yellow headlights. You got the red here. You get the orange. That would be on his arm. You got the chrome here and the chrome going up. The wheels, yeah, I wish they would. Maybe Toy Hacks will come out with decals. Let's see. You'll have the two wheels here, the orange here. Notice how this is flushed. A lot of times you'll see this on reviewers. They won't push this all the way back, so there'll be a little gap there. But you got to push it back for that little tab to snap in. There's your back. There's on the side. And you got the sword. Now, there's not much room for clearance due to the way this guy was designed. Whoops. But it is neat nevertheless. And there is your Rodimus Prime figure. Now, how does that compare with the original Rodimus Prime? This is the original Rodimus Prime. Alright, now that we have the two together, I like how they kept the original template, as you could say, but just made it bigger and added to it. Because you got the yellow and orange flames, yellow and orange flames, you got the orange here, the two sets of wheels. Even you have this part is recessed here, this is recessed here. Now they swap the colors here. You got the orange and the yellow. Here this is facing that way, here it's facing the other way. No big deal. I do like the chrome though. Now this is the back. See, you've got the, well, see, even the window starts right here and goes forward, but this just seems more compact to me. Then this just seems more like it's elongated. All right, you look at the back. Back's the same. Other side's the same. You look at the top. They've got this recessed, raised section right here. You got this raised section. And again, the orange and yellow are flipped, and the Autobot symbol's facing the other way. No big deal. There's your rub symbol, and I'm sure if this opened up it would, because it looks like that compartment, and they took that and they made it better. So, and the front is pretty much, I mean, you got the orange up here and the red here, but the yellow lights still, it's pretty much spot on. So, while we're in this mood right here, we're going to do some other comparisons. So, first I'll do this one. There is, again, Rodimus Prime. And then, this was the Titanium series Rodimus Prime. I believe this was the first crack at combining the back and the front into one robot. And this guy is die-cast metal. And then you got the power of the Primes Rodimus Prime. With this was Evolution, where it's got a hot rod and then you combine everything into Rodimus. And this was just an updated version of the trailer. So you've got that. Now, Rodimus Prime is a Commander class. So this is the Commander class Skylynx. Now, they're both the same price. So as you can see, Rodimus is a little longer. But I think, though, the complexity makes up the price and all the blast effects. Skylink's ain't too complex transformation, but he's big and he's heavy. And weight-wise, they're both pretty heavy. But that is the Commander class. I don't have the original Commander class, which was Jetfire. Now we're going to compare him to some leader classes. So this is the Power of the Primes Optimus. We'll do the backs. We'll do the trailers right there. So he's longer than this. And I don't have the Earthrise trailer, but I do have the Earthrise Prime. So we're just going to do it like that. So that is the difference between these two guys. Now, I'm going to bring in the other leader class I have, which is Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. So again, leader versus commander class. This is definitely heavier and more than a leader class. So that is those two guys. And then we'll compare him to Studio Series Hot Rod 86, which we'll save the Hot Rod comparisons for later. Now, this is where the scale's a little off. You got Rodimus Prime. Next, we'll bring in Cup. We'll bring in Blur. We'll bring in this god-awful RC. We'll bring in Springer. And we'll bring in Jazz. So now we have the movie. Now we have some of the movie starting to take shape. And if you want to throw this Ultra Magnus in, here, we'll do this. We'll put Cup back here. And then we'll put Ultra Magnus here. Now we have almost all the new movie figures plus Jazz together. And then we'll just take all these apart or away. Now, who was Rodimus Prime's enemy? It was Galvatron. So here's how we have Rodimus and leader class Galvatron. And then we're going to bring in more of the Studio Series 86. We have Cyclonus. Here, we put this guy. We have Cyclonus. And we've got Scourge. Now, these two are Voyagers. So here, this is the... Now, all the new movie figures right there. That's Rodimus with the bad guys. And that is it for comparisons. Now we're going to take a look at the car. So, what you want to do is pull this down to that little tab retreats, and then pull this back. Like I said, you're going to see people that put this in, and they'll put like that, but there's a gap here, and now he's not clipped on. So this is the, well, they call this the Rodimus Prime, but technically he's Hot Rod. And once we bring in the Studios 86 Hot Rod again, this is where the scale on the Studio Series 86 and Kingdom scale pretty good. But in this case, Hot Rod, he did grow, so he grew into Rodimus Prime. Now, the difference was, in the old movie, in the old toy, this is what Rodimus Prime was. You can't use them without the back, which I didn't mind. I actually liked that feature. Now, this you can use Hot Rod, but he's not the same. Now, the Masterpiece Rodimus had where you can put this in backwards, and it had a separate hood that you fold out and put over, so it looks completely different in Rodimus Prime mode. Because these look different. Here, let me here's the original Hot Rod. So here's the original Hot Rod, original Rodimus Prime. So he did look differently. He had the engine Hot Rod, but he didn't in Rodimus Prime. So I guess they didn't want to do this again. So what they did was they just made the Hot Rod and you just squeeze in. But it does throw the scale off, but that's what it is. So this is the new Hot Rod figure. So we're just going to throw in Studio Series Hot Rod. I think this is called a Generations Hot Rod. This is Titans Return Hot Rod. And this is the power of the Primes hot rod. So if you just want to do a hot rod comparison, they're all different shapes and sizes. But again, we're talking about the Rodimus Prime figure. So from now on, we're going to call this Rodimus Prime, even though it looks like hot rod. And it's a nice hot rod. To get a little closer, we've got the orange here, the yellow spoiler. It's got a lot of detail on it. Now, I know here's another little nitpick. I know. I was watching old cartoons of Generation 1, and Hot Rod always had a little piece that stuck out like that. Little spike, not much. They could have done it. They could have went back and done it. It wouldn't have made a big difference. But cartoon accuracy, it could have been done. And you got the smokestacks here. You got this added section right here. Like I said, you got the two 5mm ports. And you can store the weapon there. And none of them look good from the back. I just don't know why they can't do a good hot rod figure from the back. But he's still a pretty nice updated version of Hot Rod. So you have two toys in one. You have the Rodimus Prime Hot Rod figure, and you got him as the battle station. Now, to transform this guy, now we're going to transform him. Okay, we're going to start is you're going to take this piece back here, and you're just going to rotate it, and this is actually going to plug into this, like that. So you're going to take this section back here and plug it into there. Now you're going to release. This is two. You see that tab in a slot right there? You're just going to pick this up. And you're going to do is you're going to free this and just let that loose. So now you got that loosed up. And now you're just going to come back here and you're just going to separate the arm. Let's lift the, we're going to separate the arms. Now they tab in, when you put it here, they tab in right here. So you just want to pull the arms down to the side, and these tab in, pull the arms to the side. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to rotate this, because it's going to give you a lot more clearance for when you're going to do the next step. Okay, turn this around, turn his head around. Okay, now this is going to not, and you're going to put this tab is going to go into that black tab right there. So you're just going to put this down, and it's going to snap in. And it usually snaps in. There it goes. Now, very similar to Studio Series 86. You got this level, and you pull this down. You take this whole section right here, and you rotate just this 180 degrees. Now, it helps if you rotate the legs around, because then you got more clearance back here. So, now what you want to do is, these are a little tricky. See the black? You push it all the way in. Now you're going to get this tab into that slot. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it is not. So you shouldn't get that. Come on. There. That's snapped in. And the other side. You're going to pull the black down. Rotate this up. You're going to put that tab in that slot. Alright, so that went in pretty good. Now, what you want to do is, this is on a double joint, so you got to have it down and then up. And this, you're going to rotate this. Again, reminiscent of Studio Series Hot Rod, you do the same thing. You rotate this, and these black tabs will go right into the slot. So you're just going to find the hole, and you're going to snap this in. Let's see. And come on. There. And what we're going to do is now we're going to do this gray is going to go into there and snapped in. And move his arms. All right. So now that's all snapped in. See how his chest ain't flush? That means it came undone. So we're going to try to, there we go. We're going to snap back that in. Now that that's snapped in, once we put this whole thing together, this is more flush like that. Yep. And then come back here, separate the legs. Now what you want to do is unpeg these. I know, from back here. It pegs in right there. So you want to unpeg the leg and then take this whole thing and angle it down. Now, this is a pretty neat step. Take the wheel. Whoops. The wheel normally stays like that, and you push it down, and you got to get it so the wheel comes out on here. So on mine, you gotta stretch it a little, and then this tab will go into that slot. Separate the feet, and you got one leg all done. Over here, you separate. There's a tab right there, goes into that hole. So separate that. Now, unlike Studio Series 86 and the other one, you flip these over. These, you just pull down. Okay, push the wheel in. You want to put the wheel. Now, this gets me nervous though, because you got to stretch this just a little, and then you got that tab goes right there, and you can do the feet. And now we're almost done. Now for the hands. Okay, what you want to do with the hands is pick this up, rotate it around, pull the whole thing up, and what you want to do is you'll flip it all over. Oh, let me try that again. Oops. Alright, let's try the arm again. We'll get him to back where he was before. Arms, it's not that tricky, but it is a little tricky. Okay, oh, first, what you can do is pull the arm down. It doesn't move much, but you can see it does pull down a little. And then you want to extend this out, okay? Fold this in and rotate it. Then you rotate this whole arm. That way this peg will fit in here like that, and this just rests in there. So, the easiest way to do it. Now, like the other arm, again, what you want to do is fold down, fold front, fold this whole section out like that, okay? Rotate it around, and then you got that tab goes into that hole, and this will fill into here. So that's all done. Straighten the arm out, and I think we are finished. Oh, and take the chest, push it back. Let's see, and we are done. There's his hands okay. Everything's locked in, and that is Rodimus Prime. And he's a nice looking figure. We'll take a close look at the face. If the face wasn't too shiny, I think it would be a little better. But he did have what changes, and Hot Rod had the lines going down like the cheekbone. But Rodimus had all the hexagonal lines in his face. It was all blocked out. So that's the difference between that. He's got his little chin. He's got the blue eyes. He always has the white silver up there. You got this little piece. Now this on the comics was a little more thicker, but you still have that piece right there. I like how you could push that in. You got the chest. Unlike Studio Series, this is the actual hood. It's not a fake hood. Let's see, you got this reminiscent of the cartoon. You go down the arm. You got that orange and that. The smokestacks. Yeah, I guess it could have been a little more pointier. But those are the arms. Going down the waist, you got some more detailing, and these pop up so you can move his legs. Going down, you got the orange, you got the black for the. I like the bottom legs black and not the gray like Studio Series had. black feet. Let's see. Oh, and I forgot one. Look at this little part. This is a cool trick. You want to split the wheel, and then you push the wheel up, and then you snap it in. So that's pretty cool. See how the wheel is underneath the fender, and you got the little notch there. So you want to split the wheel, push this up, fold that in, and it more likes it's flush. Now little things like that I think make it worth the Commander price, because it's got a lot of steps in this guy. And going down the arm again. Now on the hands, it's pretty neat. You can move the finger joint. The finger's got 2 joints, and then the thumb, and then the other 3 fingers move. So if you want, you could point and say, this is the end of the road, Galvatron, and you could actually point. Now it's actually good too, because when you do the matrix, and the other arm is the same way, you got double jointed index finger, and then the other 3 are connected. Arm goes 360, but you got the spoiler in the way. The arms even have this much movement too. They can move back and forward, which is pretty cool. Let's see, you got more than 90 on the elbow. You got elbow rotation right here. The hands move 360 degrees. You can move them out like that. And again, you got the finger movement, waist movement. Head is on a ball joint, so you can turn all the way around. He can look up pretty good. His neck moves with him. You can move down. Other arm is the same way. 360 degrees waist. Legs can kick up more than 90. Back is very limited. And side is not quite the split. And then you got the double jointed knee. It moves on this joint. And then you have another one in here. So that's pretty cool. And you got the ankle tilt, ankle rocker, and it goes up and down. And let's see, the back, you got the spoiler, and this was actually cartoon accurate. He had kind of like 2 little thrusters back here, which is pretty cool. And so he does have a little backpack, not much. You could overlook it. And you have the Matrix. So you can open this chest piece here. Take out the Matrix. Now it's a little colored differently from the Hot Rod Matrix. And even here they've got all the detailing on the chest. And you can close that up. And we'll look at the Matrix. Yellow with the blue inside. And there's the other side of the Matrix. Like that. And you can see it's even got the little holes where he put his fingers in the movie. And if we bring in the Studio Series Hot Rod Matrix, it's a different shade of yellow. And there's the Matrix. And I think the holes are different size too on the back. This has got a lot bigger hole, and that's got a smaller hole. And this is the Hot Rod Studio Series 6. See how they're flexible and bendy, which I do like. And let's see, you put those on. So that's Hot Rod's Matrix. And you bring in Rodimus Prime's Matrix. And that is Rodimus Prime's Matrix. Now, can you switch them out? No problem. You can switch them out. But darker belongs to Hot Rod. And the lighter Matrix belongs to Rodimus. And these are bendy. These are stiff. So, just a little difference. And let's see. I like his arms. The way they move too helps him put poses. So, you can put the Matrix in the finger between the thumb and the index finger. Like that. And then the other one like that. You can say, now light our darkest hour, and you put this on. Whoops, maybe we should put this on first. I mean, they're not the easiest to put these on, but you can do it. There. Whoops. Here. How about let's lift the matrix above our head. And whoops. Move the camera up. We'll put the matrix above our head. And now, light our darkest hour. Arise, Rodimus Prime. Optimus. And that is... And then he goes, this is the end of the road, Galvatron. And that is a Rodimus Prime figure. Very nice. This figure's pretty heavy. On this figure, I really don't have much to complain about. I mean, I like they went back to the black. You know, just if I had anything to find wrong about it, I don't know, maybe these stick out too far. Maybe. You know, the face, maybe not so shiny. Oh, and the little point on the spoiler. But here's a 5mm peg there. So you can carry his sword there, and then you get that old look back. You can still carry the gun on the back here, or you can carry the gun back here. Let's see, you can put his, let's see, we'll put his sword in his hand. So there's a sword in his hand. He could be holding his gun. There you go. So now he's got his gun and his sword, which is pretty cool. Or, let's see, if you move the gun like this, you can have it both barrels like that. And now we're going to come get the trailer. Okay, we're going to open this up all the way. God, I hate this right here. I don't like that part. Alright. First, we're going to do him in the trailer. And then we're going to do a few things differently with them. Okay, so we're going to set him up here. And then you could clip, actually these fold in because his hands are actually shaped to hold them. So once you get him in here, you push him back. And there you got Rodimus Prime. Doing his old battle station. And we can look at the old one. And here is the old Rodimus Prime. Folks, this is what I grew up on. No knee, no waist, no arm, nothing. This figure was like... And then you sit him there. So, this is what I grew up on. And this is what my kids are growing up on. What a difference. And I've always loved Rodimus Prime. That's why my station's Rodimusbill. But I'm glad they made him a commander class. And they were able to mimic what the original G1 did and expand on it. Because it's... I mean, you can't argue with that. That is... what everybody my age wanted when we were a kid. It's a shame he never used this in the cartoons, though. But, so that is your side-by-side view of Rodimus. Now, if we just take the figure out, again, look at that big, long gun he had. This is what I grew up with. And... this is what my children are now growing up with. And me as an adult collector. There you go. There's 35 years in the making. Rodimus Prime. And I mean, you could tell he's Rodimus Prime and you could tell he's Rodimus Prime too. Just an updated version of it. So, now let's compare this Rodimus with a whole bunch of other characters. Now, on the comparisons, bear with me. First, I thought I'd compare Rodimus with all the hot rods. So, there's G1 Hot Rod, Generations Hot Rod. This is the Titans Return. This is the one half of the Power of the Primes. And you've got Studio Series 86. So, Rodimus Prime should tower over all of the hot rods, because he did get bigger. Now, for the Rodimus Primes in my collection. Now, for Rodimus, we've got G1 Rodimus Prime. We've got Titanium Rodimus Prime. And this behemoth, which is Power of the Primes Evolution Rodimus Prime. Now, for what he was worth, I mean, black legs, this was pretty cool because this was a hot rod figure turned into Rodimus Prime, which was pretty cool. And then we're going to do Rodimus Prime and Optimus Prime. Now, I like this scale. This scale does pretty good. Rodimus is a little bigger, but that's fine. And now we've got Rodimus with Ultra Magnus. This is off scale. But now we're going to do all the movie figures. So we're going to bring in Blur. We're going to bring in Cup. We're going to bring in RC. We'll stick her in the back since she's on her sled. We're going to bring in Springer. And Jazz. So here is the movies. And it's... yeah, I like them. Ultra Magnus is always going to be out of scale, but I do like all these guys. To me, that's not bad. And then we're going to do Kingdom Leader Galvatron, which I wish this was a little closer in scale, but not too bad. And then you bring in the movie Cyclonus and Scourge. So I think Rodimus scales good with all of these guys. I really do. And you can even say, let's see, this is the end of the road. Oops. This is the end of the road, Galvatron. And have him pick up Galvatron and throw him. Now, light our darkest hour. And that is the comparisons with Rodimus Prime. I do like it. And just to have Hot Rod and Rodimus again. So here we go. And let me do something for you real quick. And now to recreate Arise Rodimus Prime Optimus. And there's Hot Rod growing into Rodimus. And I've got one more comparison I forgot to do, which is a very one you need to see. Skylings. So we need to do one commander class with the other commander class. So there is the big guy with Skylink. So both commander classes. Skylynx has the size, but Rodimus has the complexity and more, I think, more gimmies. So that is these two. Like I said, I don't have Jetfire, but I might get it. And that is it for Rodimus Prime. Now we just get to transform him back. And before we do, I just want to take this time to thank Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get this figure from Big Bad Toy Store, click on the link below. Also, check out my Facebook page. On a lot of Facebook groups like Transformers Addicts. Make sure you go to tformers.com. They've got some great stuff there. Giving them a shout out. And click like and subscribe. Now that that's out of the way, let's transform this guy back to vehicle and then to finish the review. And actually, while we're at this point, I've got to show you that the double-barreled gun. What you can do is Hot Rod has a peg on his back, and this as you have a slot right there and a peg. You have a tab and a peg here. So you can actually put this on Hot Rod's back. Turn this around like this. And Hot Rod has a backpack. It's pretty heavy though, but that's what it's for. Or that's why there's a peg right there. You can have this as a little stationary thing with wheels, and you can have Hot Rod, or Rodimus, I should say. You can have Rodimus shoot this from a freestanding one like that. Okay, next, now we'll continue with the review. Now to transform back, first we're just going to put the trailer back together. So we're just going to push, keep those there, push this down. This is going to click in, move these down. Okay, I'm going to move this one like that. I'm going to put the gun here. Oops. I'm going to close this up. Okay, I'm going to close that up. Close that up. And then put all this stuff back here. Oh, see, I should have done this here. There. Now we'll put these back here. There you go. That's done. Open this up. And we'll put the matrix in here. There you go. I always like to do my reviews as they come. So normally they come packaged in robot mode. So normally I start from robot mode and work my way to vehicle mode. But most reviewers only do vehicle mode to robot mode, no matter which way it's packed. And I like to always go back. So that is done. First thing we're going to do is the arms. So we're going to fold this up, rotate it out, rotate this around. There we go. And now we've got, and then push the arm back in. So that's pretty good. Take the other arm, unhook this up, roll this around, rotate this, and you might have to mess with the hand a little bit. There we go, and push this in. So next we'll split the wheel, pull it down, and snap it together. See? Pull it down. Let's see. Pull this down, snap it together. Now we're done the arms. All right, so let's do the feet. Pull this out. Pull this out. There. Pull the wheel up. And then we're just gonna collapse this in. And we'll just keep it like that for now. Again, do the other side. This scares me because mine's got clearance issues. Pop the leg up. Close the feet. Jimmy this up. There we go. And then, there we go. So this goes here. And then this locks it in, and then put them together, and now the feet are done. And then we can rotate the feet around, because again later on you're going to need this clearance. Okay, so unhook this, and you unhook this. It's a tight fit. That goes in there, these go in here, and you want to pop that out. So this is being removed from the black, and now you're just pushing all this up. Again, pull this down and then move this up, and then while you have this like that, what you want to do is rotate these What the heck? What is stopping this? Did I do it right? I know I flipped the legs around. All right. Okay, there. Now I can flip the legs around. Okay. See, it's a little tricky. It's always different when you're going back. And then you always turn the head around. Pull this out. Always. Now, this is what you want to do is get it set up like that. But, so what you can do is with this, you want to take these little, see these pop off. These are reminiscent of the hot rod one. So you want to pop these in. And there you just, come on. And they pop in. All right, pop that in. Now what you're gonna do is when this goes back, what you're gonna do is you've got this tab right here is gonna go in here. So that goes up like that. And let's see. We'll twist this around and make that go like that. These pop up into here. And then you want to move all of this up into here. And then it'll snap in right there. So you got to make sure the black is straight. And this will snap into here. And now you have this tab goes into here. So that goes into there. That goes into there. These snap in up here. Everything's tight. These snap together right there. Pull these out. Sword goes underneath. And now he is back to Rodimus Prime. And I like him. For what he is, like I said, he gets a 9.5 out of me. Because I've always wanted an upgrade Rodimus Prime that was true to the origin. And I'm just going to live with seeing that wheel right there. I don't mind. You know, but he rolls pretty good. You know, you just have to have these wheels. All these wheels have to be pulled out. These have to be pulled out. And that's about it. So, with nothing else to say, I thank you for watching this video to the end. Please like, subscribe, check out the channel, turn on notifications, and also check out tformers.com. Check out Big Bad Toy Store, check out Facebook groups, my Facebook Rodimusbill page, and all that good stuff. And so we're going to arise Rodimus Prime and transform and roll out.